Oh, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel, Bareface Diamond. My name is Desiree. If you are new here, in this real quick video, I want to share something with you. I have been reading this book here, Knowing God by J.I. Packer, for two reasons. One, I want to read it. Number two, it is part of the required reading for this online theology class that I'm taking. This class was created and developed by Alexis Ashley, who is another content creator here on YouTube. And there are multiples of us participating in this class. As I was reading this book, I'm only on chapter 9, but I had to stop. As I was reading this book, almost through it. I almost threw it, y'all, because there were two areas in this chapter that really spoke to me. The first area is the fact that we all have a misunderstanding of what the Bible means when it says God is love, that God is all wisdom, and God is all powerful. We tend to question God. And I think I've said this before in another video, a couple other videos, we tend to question God. And I know I have many a times. But there's nothing wrong with questioning God, but it is something wrong with what you're questioning God on. If you're questioning God because you want to know why he chose green for trees and grass and stuff like that, that's okay, that's fine. If you're reading something in the Bible and you got a question and you ask God that question, but questioning God the wrong way is questioning him as to, God, why you let this happen? Why you let that happen? Why you let me lose my job? Why you let it? That's questioning God in the wrong way, because that ain't God. That's not God. God is not doing that. When you sit down and you reflect on what's going on in your life, you will find out that 98% of the reason that you're going through it is because of you. I know it's hard to admit because I've been there multiple times. It's hard to admit when you're the reason for your own problems. It's easy to blame somebody else. That's what we call blame shifting in Christian counseling. I shouldn't say Christian counseling, biblical counseling, but I took a program, so I'm not a certified biblical counselor, but I did take a program of biblical counseling at the previous church that I used to attend. And that was the word that was used, blame shifting. We like to blame everybody else instead of looking at ourselves. Because if we look at ourselves, we're going to see more than us being the problem. We're going to see that we were the problem in a whole lot of situations that surrounded us, that it wasn't who we initially thought. We're sitting here being mad at somebody for something that they did, but we don't want to recognize that we caused them to do what they did. You understand what I'm saying? So that part in the book made me stop for a little while. And then the next part in the book made me stop, where it was talking about Abraham, how it was talking about old weaknesses that we have, or old issues that we have sometimes reappear, things that may cause us to backslide, things that may cause us to do whatever that we used to do. But the fact that we just keep going forward, we keep walking with God, we keep resting in his will, we keep relying on him, we keep waiting for him, we keep giving him all the praise and honor, regardless of how many times we fall back. As long as we keep moving forward, we're going to be good. We will end up becoming that man or that woman of God. And that's what he was talking about Abraham. And I had to stop there too, because it's like, we might backslide, we might fall, but we got to get back up. As long as we don't stay down, we can always get back up and keep moving forward. God sees that. He sees that. He sees you pushing through. You know, you always hear people say, well, I got to keep pushing through. I got to keep pushing through. I got to keep pushing through. And that's good. Keep pushing through. Now, come on. That ain't for everything. Sometimes you got to sit your tail down. But in this instance, even when you end up falling back into something that you recognize you did, and you like, nope, I got to stop this. This is wrong. That's an indication that you are growing and you're walking in your relationship with God. At least to me. I could be completely wrong. But I've fallen back a couple of times in some things, and I still got up and said, okay, God, I failed this time on that. I'm going to keep working on it until I don't fall on it anymore. One of the biggest issues that I have had a tendency to fall back on is getting myself. There was one time I found myself emotionally attached to somebody. And I said I would never do that again, because that emotional attachment was part of the reason that I had a nervous breakdown. And I arrested it rather quickly, but the fact that I initially allowed myself to get that far was what I was upset about. And I didn't blame God. That was all me. That was all flesh. And I said, God, I can see that that was a problem, and I'm going to keep working on that. And you know what? It's been like 6, 7 months. It's been 7 months. Haven't had that problem since. And the situation that allowed me to get emotionally attached to that person again, it got stronger, and yet I got stronger and not falling for it, not falling in that trap mentally, not falling into it, not mentally, but emotionally. And it wasn't that individual, it was a situation that that individual was explaining to me. And you know how you just don't want somebody to go through something by themselves? That's what happened. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you all. Just know that we have to have a better understanding of God, and know and understand that just because we are Christians does not mean we're not going to have issues. And just because we are going through, it does not mean that God does not love us. It means that he does love us, and he's there to walk us through whatever it is we're going through. Again, we all have our own healing path to walk. And part of that is part of accepting the fact that, okay, maybe I'm the reason this messed up, that this happened, or that I messed up. Maybe I'm the reason. That is healing, and you gotta walk that. You gotta walk that path. You're not walking it by yourself. Some of us have just gotten beyond that. Some of us had to go back to it. Some of us are right there in it, and we're starting to walk it out again. So, anyway. If you want to deepen your relationship with God, get this book. Or actually, I think you can find this on YouTube for free. Just listen to it. Just listen to it. Later, y'all.